feeling I hate most is, say, in the JFK 50, and I get to mile 46. There's a tendency to have this, like, it's in the bag, gonna walk it in. While walking it in, making that decision feels extremely good in the moment because you're now on the downhill to finishing. There's the other part of me that says you're just settling for good enough. You're settling. Another 10 miles done, day 3 in the books, 31 miles over the last 3 days, roughly I think 37 over 4 runs this week. But one of the things I want to talk about is doing hard things. And I think there is a misconception that sometimes people who do things, more volume, faster, people who have a tendency to do things we want to do, we have this kind of thought that it's easy for them. And one of the things I always try to be transparent about on this channel is when things are hard and when I don't really feel like doing them. I didn't want to do this run this morning. I didn't want to wake up at 6. That's not super early, but I had to make sure my daughter got to work. But I didn't want to do that. I don't feel super great today. I'm not sure what the issue was. Wasn't looking forward to running 10 miles on the treadmill. But the feeling I feel right now was the feeling that I knew that I would have. And it's a feeling of accomplishment. It's a feeling of that I'm adding to the wall that I'm building, of that discipline, that I'm building that up. And ultimately, that will help get me to the ultimate goal that I set for myself for the year of 1,500 miles. And I have a tendency to set goals and be okay if I didn't hit them that way. I don't feel disappointed. And I've set this 1,500 mile goal, I think, for 2 years and not done it, not got there. And, there's various excuses and reasons as to why, but I always just feel like it's not that big of a deal because who cares? And, this year it just kind of spawned in my brain when I looked at, me being 188 miles behind target to achieve that. And I'm like, for what reason? Other than just me just wanting to be comfortable. And, comfort is one of those things that just kind of sucks the life out of your dreams and your goals. Was it last year or the year before I did this kind of challenge where I ran 10 or plus miles a day for 2 weeks and I ran 180 miles over 14 days. And I felt awesome at the end of it. Like, I went through it sucking and then, it getting to be okay and then it becoming routine and made me think that I needed to do that now to kind of get myself in gear for the IC8 and to whatever challenge may come to me in January for the other goal that I set for 1 mile for every subscriber we gain from Thanksgiving to the end of the year. And that leads me to the last topic. I did the video talking about kind of my goals and YouTube and being a creator. And I think I just didn't communicate it well because it made it sound like I was kind of complaining that almost putting blame on the people that I make content for, and that was completely not the case. I think the point I was trying to make is I'm tired of kind of half-assing my goals, and I'm tired of not having the time or the focus or the determination or the discipline to do the things to achieve the goals that I want. This has nothing to do with you all or anything you all have done wrong. You all the reason I do this. I mean, I love this communication. That's why I struggle with doing, reviews and all that other stuff because it removes me from the connection I have with you. And this is what I like. I like doing things and talking to you about them and talking to you about the things that you do. The feeling I hate most is, say, in the JFK 50, and I get to mile 46. There's a tendency to have this, like, it's in the bag, gonna walk it in. While walking it in, making that decision feels extremely good in the moment because you're now on the downhill to finishing. There's the other part of me that says you're just settling for good enough. You're settling for coming in, 20 to 30 minutes slower. And it bothers me. But the pain and being tired outweighs that, and I end up being comfortable with it. And that's kind of something that's indicative of a lot of other things that I do. It's just not having enough time to do the things that I want to do in the right way that I want to do them for you all. I don't expect anyone to watch anything that I do. None of this is expected or given. I've always said that time is the most precious thing anyone can give you, and you have to do something worthy of that. And I get that. I completely get that. And that's the frustration for me, because I want to provide value and I want to make a connection and have a strong community. Find my joy in talking about the human condition and struggles and family and balance and trying to achieve goals and how all of that plays together. That's what I want to do. So I hope that clears things up. It wasn't just a whine fest of nobody loves me. That's not what it was. I know that that's what it seemed to have come across, and I apologize for that. That's my lack of communication. It was just a lot of thoughts coming out at the same time. I need to do better, to do the things and to achieve the goals that I want. And I have big goals, big goals for this channel. Hope you guys have a good rest of this weekend. I will see you next video. Go ahead and click right there. YouTube knows what you want to watch right there. And if it's not something you want to watch, it's not my fault. It's YouTube's fault.